Do you want to build an empire like Jeff Bezos? Do you want to create an impact in humanity like Jeff Bezos? Do you want to disrupt industries as Jeff Bezos has been doing for 30 years and propulsing innovation changes necessary for human development? Or maybe you have the ambition to be the most richest, wealthiest person in the world, not only for the benefits of having the money, but also for the freedom of it and for the impact that you can make in the world if you have more economic resources. If those sounds if those sounds like good ideas, well, my friends, stay until the end of this video because today we're going to download the mind of one of the most powerful and influential men in today's history, and not only for the sake of having an intellectual conversation, but with the firm intention of integrating his mind to our own in order to be able to build and create and construct empires like Jeff Bezos.
Downloading the mind.
Welcome to the Mastermind Podcast, episode 448 with Dr. Derek Israel. I am a clinical psychologist, an entrepreneur, and I have been studying successful people for the last 10 years. And now I have this sub program in my podcast that is called Download the Mind, in which I am downloading the most influential people's mind and sharing with you my discoveries. So today we are going to do this to Jeff Bezos, and the way this works is basically, I believe that every psyche have nodes that basically are nucleus of significance. And if you can download those, you don't need to know everything in the mind to have the best pieces of the mind. We can call that Lareto, Pareto's law. Basically, 80% of the good stuff is only in 20% of spaces. So I will be downloading or sharing with you some fundamental mindsets of Jeff Bezos that if you understand and apply in your life, you will be alike, and you will be able to build empires alike. Uh, for example, Amazon, Blue Origin, and all the empires that he has been building for the last 30 years. So if you don't know who Jeff Bezos is, uh, let me read to you a small biography, a very brief biography. So Jeff Bezos is an entrepreneur and an e-commerce pioneer that found and was the CEO of the e-commerce company Amazon. Also, he's the current owner of the Washington Post, the newspaper, and he's the founder of the space exploration company Blue Origin. All right, so let's go here and let me quit this room for you. So, also, one thing that I want to say before we continue is that here in the bottom, you're going to be seeing direct quotes of Jeff Bezos. So, take notice because not only I will be processing this information for you, but also you will have direct insights into his mind by his own words. So take your notebook out and make notes because I guarantee this will be the most profound video you will be ever see about the Jeff Bezos psyche. I guarantee that. And if you found another, please put it in the comments below to improve myself if that is right, if you are right. So what is the first note or the first critical aspect of the mind of Jeff Bezos that you need to understand to be like him? Obsess critically or centrically with your consumer. The client is your boss, basically. We as entrepreneurs, we sometimes think that we have all the answers, that we know everything. And the consumers, they don't know very good. They're consumers at the end of the day. Yes, they pay the bills, but they don't know all the minutia and the technicisms of our industry. So we know best. We know best than them, right? And that paradigm is a failure. That paradigm is incorrect. If you want to build empires like Jeff Bezos, you need to have the ability to put yourself through the perspective of your consumer. You need to fuse, you need to merge your consciousness with the perception of the consumer in order to be able to reverse engineer the systems and processes needed to satisfy the needs of your consumer as no one else can do. And if you can do that in the long term game, you will win. You will create an empire. Your brand will be in the top of the hierarchy. But for that, you need to be able to get out of your own perceptions, being open minded, and being able to ask yourself how my clients feel. How can I optimize the experience for my client, not for me? Even if I lose money, even if I need to sacrifice more, at the end of the day, is the customer the one that I am trying to engineer the experience for. you know and every decision that you make commercially but also personally in your life, you make it with the ideal client or the final customer or the person that is receiving your energy in mind, as a priority, not as consideration, as a priority. He called this a central obsession with the consumer. So that is the first note and one of the most important. Second one, maintain a minimal regrets framework. He said that when he was thinking about starting Amazon.com when he was 30 years old, he was having a good time in a company that he was being an employee in Wall Street. But then he said, I want to take charge and to benefit of this new thing that is pulsing in society, that maybe you have heard of it. It was called, and it is called today, the internet. So in those moments, the internet was pretty new. Like today is crypto and blockchain, a very disruptive technology with a very similar potential as the internet. So in those times, he was thinking about how can I do or create a business model that fits this new reality. So think about it. How can you create a business model that fits with this current reality? Blockchain, Web3, 5G, everything that is going on. And if you are looking this in the whole future, like 2030, 2035, 2040, your possible adjacent, your current actualization of potential of what can be done is going to be different, but it's going to be always there, right? So you need to be finding business models that you can adjust to these to be able to not only benefit profitable economically, but also to make impact in the world. So he said, well, I decide to start a company that we can sell books, because books have a very big catalog. Everyone loves books. They will not go out of fashion. So maybe I can have more books than any physical store, and I can predominate the industry like that. So he told this to his boss in Wall Street. And his boss said, you know what, Jeff? It's a very good idea. It's a very good idea. for someone that doesn't already have a good job. And Jeff was like heartbroken. And he said that he went some days thinking about it. I do it or I don't do it. I launch my business or I stay as an employee. I stay in my comfort, blah, 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 or I go to conquer in the jungle. But he said that as soon as he adopted a minimal regrets framework in his mind, his whole perspective changed, and he finally understood what was needed to be done, that it was to begin his entrepreneurship, Amazon.com. So he said, I project I projected myself forwardly to an age when I was 80. And then I look back from my 80 years old self and ask myself, I regret leaving my job, my 9 to 5 job, to pursue a dream. I regret that. To pursue a vision, to pursue a virtuous experiment. And then in his own imagination, in this exercise, he said, my 80-year-old self will never regret that. He will regret not doing it. He will regret being a coward, staying in his job and not doing it, not capitalizing the potential of the moment. As soon as he did that, he started Amazon.com because the answer was so obvious. So maybe you have been procrastinating stuff and you can adopt a similar perspective. Remember, Jeff said, people doesn't regret what they did it. They regret what they didn't do, what they didn't do. You will be regretting the things that you are thinking now, but you are not initiating in your life. Those are the things that really will bother you when you are in your deathbed. So live by the judgment of your 80 years old self and let him decide what you will do today, that you have vitality, power, conviction, resources, drive, and living in the best epoch ever in the history of humanity. Third note, very important. Live a gradatim ferociter philosophy, step by step with ferocity. So, gradatim ferocity, I think, is a Latin phrase that Jeff Bezos continuously repeat himself as a mantra, as a something that energize him and move him forward. And basically says that everything that you do in life must be with ferocity, every step. But you don't want to be so attached to velocity that you are skipping steps. But also, you don't want to be so slow that you will get behind, that you will be falling behind. So, a good middle point, a good balance point is doing every step one in front the other without stopping, with ferocity, without resting, without procrastinating, without indecision, but one in front of the another, without also trying to run, without also trying to skip some of them, to shortcut stuff. So looking at him as his own example, Amazon Prime delivering 1 day's delivers. That was a very ferocious step, but he didn't promise that in the first 10 years of Amazon. That was something that was developed after other systems and processes he developed. So he went step by step. But once he do something, it is ferocious. It is all in. It's not partial, kind of, yeah. No, it is all in. Ferocious. Gradatim ferociter. Learn that phrase and repeat it. Learn about it. Read about it. You know, and the same with Amazon Video, the Fire TV, uh, the marketplace, the reviews, everything that he has been innovating has been step by step. And look, when you see the macro perspective and the big picture, oh my gosh, he has built an empire. But if you see his everyday life operations, is just step by step with ferocity. 5 node downloadable that you need to implement in your life to build an empire like Jeff Bezos. Materialize, sorry, it's not this one, it's this one. Analyze and act with a long term strategy. One of the presets that Jeff Bezos lives by is like most most of your competition will be focused on a framework of a 1, 2, maybe 3 years as most in the future. That is their time frame. But he said that is very limiting because you are competing and you are allocating resources to a very small chunk of time. A smart move, a smarter move will be to project a little bit more time into your plans, into your considerations, into your operations. Project maybe a 5, 6, 7 year long-term plan, and that will energize the project better because first you will feel less pressure on you. Also, your team will feel more space to work and not so rushed. But also, you don't want to slow down the process so much that you will be very slow. But it's a very good balance between velocity and realism. It's a good balance. You need to be a little bit unrealistic because you want to get ahead, but not so unrealistic that everyone will burn out and you will have zero results. So he said 5 to 6, 7 years is 5 to 6 and 7 years is a good measure as a strategic element in the context of time. So learn how to think like that. Also, if you read his first letter to investors, he said, "We are thinking long term. We are sacrificing short-term profit for long-term market share. If you're not willing to see us losing money every year, seeing us struggling towards the present moment, don't invest because we are shooting to having the sky, but down the road, not now. We are sacrificing long-term pleasure, short-term pleasure for long-term purpose and service and contribution. So learn how to think like that. Next note, materialize as an adult the dream you had as a kid. This is very similar to Elon Musk idea. And also, if you want to know a lot about Elon Musk and his mind and how you can conquer the universe like him, go to the description. You will find the reproduction list of this series. And also, I have downloaded Elon Musk Mind. So, Jeff Bezos has this dream when he was a boy, a 5-year-old boy, to be more specific. He wanted to go to space. And now that he have adulthood and freedom to invent, to create his own destiny, he is respecting and honoring that 5-year-old boy that lived in his heart. And notice how you have been growing up. And while you have been growing up, you have been disregarding your wishes, your dreams that you used to have as a kid or as a little girl. And you may think, well, those were fantasies, dude. Grow up. That's part of life. Well, that is not part of life. That is part of your life. People with extraordinary results honor their kids, honor their inner child, their creative juices, honor their muse, honor their genie, their essence. And so now he's going to space exactly as he was dreaming when he was a kid. And you may criticize um, his space exploration operations. You can criticize his travel to space. Anyways, he's living his dream. He's not perfect, but he's living his dreams. He's accomplishing something. He's moving towards them. And I think that that is basically the whole point of this conversation, of this note, is that as an adult, your whole responsibility should be to manifest the dreams you had as a kid. And maybe if you do that, you will be happy and rich. Who knows? You need to adopt a minimal regrets framework and to do it and to try it, because if not, you're going to regret at 80. Next essential point of Jeff Bezos' psyche is that you need to devour your goals without mercy, specifically if they are sick and or hurt. And this will be a point a little bit controversial. I know that Jeff Bezos is not an angel. I'm not pretending that he doesn't have a shadow. He had a very good, he has a very good, powerful, unintegrated shadow. We all know that. But who doesn't have that, dude? We all have shadows, part of ourselves that are not very good. And this program is not about morality. It's about understanding how our minds work and trying to implement some of those ideas in our own mind. So yeah, this is not going to be the most moral thing, but it's part of his psyche, and I think it's essential to learn to build empires as he does. As he does, is this one. So he had this project that it was called the GAZILLA Project, that basically they were hunting small publishers that they could profit better, that those small publishers of books were already selling on Amazon, and because they were already dependent on Amazon to have profit, because those days the book industry were very bad. Well, they were Jeff Bezos in the project GAZILLA was determined to explode those weaknesses, explode those commercial dependency of small publishers by upgrading the fees associated of selling at Amazon. And after that, he will be building this strategy to most big companies, to more bigger publishers, and that was basically the project GAZILLA. And the way he used to explain it is that the cheetah, the animal, the cheetah, will hunt for his babies, but will look for a gazilla to pursue. But she will not pursue anything. She will not pursue whichever. She will pursue the one that she sees more vulnerable, more weak, more sick, because she knows that it will get tired more rapidly, and the chances of her hunting her down successfully are better. So I want you to think about your goals and understand that they are like gazillas. They have a weak point. They have a deformity in them. They have what in system theory it is called critical points. A point in which if you touch it, the whole thing will go down. Learn to evaluate your goals as gazillas, as something that have weaknesses, points of exploitation, points in which you can activate most of the change by doing the less of the work. That is to be resourceful, right? So that is basically the whole idea. Next point or note is that you need to be resourceful. What a synchronicity, huh? You need to be resourceful. That basically means that you need to optimize your input with the resources that you already have. Being resourceful is achieving more with less. And you are not being resourceful when you are expecting or waiting for the perfect time to attack in business or in life, because there will never be a perfect time. You always will be missing something. You will be missing money or technology or a piece of information or experience. There will never be a perfect time. It is your duty, it is your determination, your conviction to attack regardless. That is being resourceful. It is your duty to analyze, hey, what I have in my repertory? What can I do? What I have in my toolbox? Well, I have a cell phone. Well, I have internet. Oh my gosh, I have access to the whole world. What can I do? And start building, with the little things that are not so little, but that you tend to underappreciate, right? So it's allocating those resources in a synergistic way, in a way that you can propose forward with ferocity until you are gathering more resources and turning that momentum into a positive momentum that grows and multiply itself exponentially with the variable of time. When time is in the context, when it's going, when it's happening, when it's developing, when it's crossing years, decades, centuries, millennials, start thinking like that. Resourcefulness, long term, empire building. That's part of how Jeff Bezos look at life. Next note, very important, learn how to do everything by yourself and just then delegate. Some of entrepreneurs want to delegate too soon. And by delegating everything, they lose power because they don't understand the infrastructure of the thing. When Jeff Bezos started Amazon.com, he learned how to code, he learned how to sell, he learned how to market, he learned how to pack, he learned how the mail delivery system worked. He learned every small detail of his work. And just then he delegated because he said CEOs must have the lesser stress in comparison with employees, because that is the whole point of being a CEO, is to be on charge, right? And when you are on charge, you delegate stress. But before delegating, you need to know how to do it, because in that way you can mentor and you can self-replicate your paradigms and your genetic organizational code, you see. And you don't need to know how to do it perfectly, but at least you need to know how to have some conversations with experts. As Mark Cuban said, you don't need to know everything, but you need to know how to ask questions to experts and understand their answers. If you can't do that, you are on the edge. Next note, very important, very essential to build businesses and empires and impact like Jeff Bezos. Do not celebrate your gifts or talents. Instead, celebrate your efforts. and sacrifices. Jeff really believes that you cannot be proud of what was given to you, your strengths, your natural abilities, because they were given to you. Why are you so proud of it? Why are they your priority? They should be only a complementary uh, asset for the things that you are building epigenetically, the things that you are building with practice, with efforts, the things that don't come natural for you, but you regardless do it and engineer it and develop it and conquer it because that is part of your growth. So for those things that you earn, for those things you need to celebrate and celebrate big, have friends, have party, laugh, make it fun. But for things that are easy for you, that were a gift, slow down with those. Don't be too proud. Those, yeah, they are strengths and use them, but don't forget to elaborate things that synergize your whole structure, your whole power as a human being, as a creator, entrepreneur, inventor. You see. Next note, and this is the last one, but stay until the end because I have a bonus note for you. Being an entrepreneur is being an inventor. This is the last note before the bonus. Being an entrepreneur is really being an inventor. Jeff Bezos doesn't see himself as the owner of a shop, of a store, you know, just like a seller or a marketer. No, no, no. He see himself as an inventor, just like Thomas Edison, just like Nikola Tesla, just like Leonardo da Vinci. When you think about those guys, you don't think them as entrepreneurs, although they were entrepreneurs. They made patents, they commercialized their inventions, and they run businesses, right? Thomas Edison. We will soon be downloading his mind here, also Da Vinci and Tesla. Everyone. So subscribe if you are liking this, man. It's gonna be huge. And so he interpret himself, his self-concept, his self-image is of one that is an inventor first, an entrepreneur. Not later, but at the same importance that you can attribute to entrepreneurship, also that same importance he attribute to being an inventor. It's a merge, it's a fusion. Because you as an entrepreneur, you invent systems, you invent marketing strategies, campaigns, communications, processes, product solutions. You invent distribution channels, new ways to doing things. And I don't care what is your business about. You should be thinking like an inventor. You should be asking every day, hey, what I will be inventing today, what I will manifest to the world. Not just copy and cat, not just looking other business models and trying to recreate. But what I'm trying to say is that you need to innovate, you need to invent from scratch. Also, you will copy other businesses. You will understand what is going good with them and implement it, but that is not the germ of your business model, because if that is your germ, you will be a generic brand and you will not be a leader of your industry like Amazon. So those are the 10 most powerful notes that I have discovered of Jeff Bezos by studying his psyche relentlessly for the last 10 years. But I have a bonus one. I have a bonus, and it's this one. Reinforce innovation in your own organization. Jeff Bezos, he doesn't care if a guy brings a bad idea. If it is an original idea, he can reinforce that guy. He wants that because 99% of the ideas that are very innovative are trash. Yeah, they are. They are ineffective, inefficient, unpractical. They are not sustainable. But one of them, every here and then, every now and then, every, maybe every 100 iterations, there's one that is a Amazon Prime. There is one that is um, the Amazon recommended product. That is something that he was huge also to his business model. There's one idea that actually works. The one click buy. Super work exponentially. It was the first to put only with one click you can buy in e-commerce. So do a lot of experiments and some of them will work, just the 1%, and that's all you need, because if that really works, it will pay out for the 99 that were uh, missed bullets. So, okay, I will repeat it very fast just to reinforce what you already learned. If you want to build businesses, empires like Jeff Bezos, you need to obsess centrically with your consumer. You need to maintain a minimal regrets framework. You need to live a gradatim ferociter step by step with ferocity mindset. You need to analyze and act with a long-term strategy. You need to materialize as an adult the dream you had as a kid. You need to devour your goals without mercy, specifically if they are sick and or hurt. You need to be resourceful, optimize your output with the resources that you already have. You need to learn how to do everything before you delegate. You need to do not celebrate your gifts or talents, instead celebrate your efforts and sacrifices. And you need to be an entrepreneur that in the final analysis is just an inventor. And also remember to reinforce innovation in your organization. If you really like this, please subscribe to this channel. It's most based on Spanish, and my podcast is on Spanish, but this sub-series of Downloading the Mind, I will be doing the episode on English as well, because I know that this knowledge is so powerful that it has to be understood by most people as possible. And I wanted to do it in the universal language that is in English. So please subscribe and look for the playlist of Downloading the Mind, just to see if other highly influential people you think are uh, they deserve your time. They deserve your time and your effort to download their mind. And feel free to meet with me in another of these episodes if you like it. Also, I want you to please comment below what other note I didn't talk about here in regards to Jeff Bezos' mind, and that you think it will be helpful for the whole community to understand and to integrate into our own personality. Remember that this show is not only based on me talking as a monologue, it's also on building knowledge through the whole community. So please plant your seed here and make a comment and try to contribute as well. So also, I want to invite you, if you want to go to directirl.com. There you can see all the services that I can offer and also the products that I can offer to you. And I see you in the next Downloading the Mind.